Listen. Practice. Speak. Practice makes you perfect.
Today, we're diving deep into business strategy. We've got some really cool stuff here, actual recordings from a business review meeting. It's like we're flies on the wall as this company figures out, how they're doing, brainstorms new ideas, and plans their next steps.
Talk about a sneak peek. We'll see how they've had success with revenue growth, product launches, sustainability efforts, and even that digital transformation everyone keeps talking about. We'll also see what challenges they're facing and how they plan to tackle those head on.
It's fascinating, the level of thought that goes into every decision. It's not just about the numbers, but really understanding what's happening in the market, keeping up with new technologies, and making sure the business thrives in the future.
All right, let's jump right in and see how they're doing financially. Sounds like they've got something to celebrate.
They actually beat their revenue targets by a full 15% last quarter.
15%, that's huge. What do you think drove that growth?
Well, their new product line's a hit. It's exceeding expectations. They really nailed what customers wanted. And they've also done a great job expanding into new markets, which means more customers.
Makes sense. Getting into new markets is a sure way to boost revenue, but I imagine it also comes with some challenges, right?
Absolutely. One thing they're watching out for is increased competition in their main markets. They know they've got to stay ahead of the game if they want to keep their leading position.
So what's their plan for holding off competitors and keeping customers happy?
Two main things: pushing boundaries with innovation and keeping their customers loyal. When it comes to innovation, they're all about constantly developing new and better products that meet changing needs. They're putting a lot of energy into research and development, and they've even set up an innovation lab where they can test out cutting-edge ideas.
It sounds like they're really nurturing a culture of innovation. That's got to attract some great talent, too. But how about customer loyalty? These days, it's so easy for customers to switch brands. What are they doing to keep their current customers coming back for more?
They're putting in place a new loyalty program. It rewards repeat customers and gives special perks to the most loyal ones. It's not just about earning points. It's about creating a sense of community, like you belong. They're also upping their game in customer service, making it faster and more personal. Think AI chatbots that can answer common questions right away, freeing up their human agents to tackle the more complex issues.
Loyalty programs are a good idea, but they're pretty common these days. Do they have any more, innovative ways they're thinking of to engage customers?
Actually, yeah, they're looking into some really interesting ideas. One they're considering is a subscription box service that would send customers a selection of their products regularly. It's a way to keep customers engaged and coming back, plus it creates a steady stream of revenue.
Now that's thinking outside the box. It sounds like they're really good at predicting what's coming next and adapting their business model accordingly. But with all these new projects and investments, are they expecting these moves to pay off in the long run?
They're pretty confident these investments will help them keep growing and making money. They're projecting a 10% revenue increase next year, and they think these new initiatives will be a big part of that.
That's fantastic. But tell me, are they happy just dominating their current markets? Or are they looking to expand even further?
Definitely not afraid to explore new territory. They're actually looking into emerging markets in Southeast Asia.
That sounds promising. Yeah. But those markets can be unpredictable. What's their backup plan if things don't go as smoothly as they hope?
They've been doing their homework, carefully analyzing the risks and the potential rewards in those markets. They've done tons of research, and they're partnering with local experts to help them navigate the tricky parts of doing business in those regions. They're also being smart about their investments, starting small and growing slowly as they get a better feel for how things work over there.
Sounds like a good plan.
Uh-oh.
It's about balancing ambition with being cautious. But why Southeast Asia specifically? What's driving their interest there?
Their market analysis team has been digging deep into consumer habits and economic trends over there, and what they're finding is pretty compelling. They're seeing a rising middle class with more money to spend and a strong demand for the kinds of products this company makes. It's a market that's ripe for disruption, and they think they're in a good position to take advantage of that.
Sounds like a classic example of strategic business expansion. I can tell we're just scratching the surface here. I'm already wanting to know more about how they run things and what they're doing with their sustainability efforts.
Well, you're in luck. That's exactly where we're headed next. We'll uncover the secrets to their impressive cost reductions and how they're making sustainability a core part of their business model.
Okay, so let's unpack that. How are they streamlining their operations to boost efficiency and productivity? We hear they've been putting in some serious automation technologies. What kind of impact has that had on their bottom line?
One of their main goals has been making their supply chain management better.
Yeah.
That means making sure everything from production to getting products to customers runs smoothly and efficiently. They've implemented some cool automation technologies that are showing some really impressive results. For example, they're using automated guided vehicles in their warehouses to move stuff around. It's cut down on manual labor and really improved efficiency.
Hold on. Automated guided vehicles in the warehouse? That sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. I bet that saves a ton of money. What kind of cost reductions are we talking?
So far, they've managed to cut overhead costs by a whopping 20%, thanks in part to those automation efforts.
Wow, 20%. That's a lot of resources freed up for other initiatives. Right. I can imagine their CFO is pretty happy right now. But with all this automation, we can't ignore the big question. What happens to the employees whose jobs are being affected?
That's a really important question, and it's one they're very aware of. While some positions have been reduced through automation, they've also created new roles in areas like technology and data analysis. They're committed to helping their workforce learn new skills, offering training to help people adapt to these new technologies. They've even teamed up with community colleges to provide special training in high-demand fields.
So it's not a case of humans versus robots. It's more about humans and robots working together more effectively. I like that they're investing in their people, not just replacing them.
Exactly. And it's not just training programs, they're also helping people find new roles within the company that fit their skills and what they're interested in.
That's really thoughtful. It shows they genuinely care about their employees, not just the bottom line. Now, let's talk about sustainability. It's a big topic these days, but I'm curious, is this company just following the trend? Or is their commitment to sustainability more than just talk?
From what we're hearing, their commitment goes way beyond just a trendy image. They see it as a fundamental part of their business, one that can both help the environment and save them money over the long term. One of their big projects is switching over to renewable energy in their factories. They've put solar panels on the roofs, and they're buying renewable energy from local companies. They've even calculated how much money they expect to save, and they think they'll get their investment back in 5 years.
That's a big step. It shows they're serious about lessening their environmental impact. And it's not just about doing good, is it? There's got to be some business benefits to being seen as a sustainable company.
Absolutely. They're hoping this will make their brand image better, make them look like a forward-thinking, environmentally conscious company. They're putting together a whole marketing campaign to show off their eco-friendly practices to the world. They think this will appeal to customers who are more and more aware of environmental issues and want to support companies that are taking action.
Makes sense. It's a win-win. Reducing their environmental impact while potentially attracting new customers who share their values. But let's be realistic. This can't just be about doing good. Are there any plans to, leverage these sustainability efforts, turn them into a competitive edge?
They're actually not shying away from highlighting their sustainable choices at all. They're weaving it into their brand story, using it to stand out from competitors who are slower to embrace sustainability. It's a key part of what they offer, and they're confident it'll resonate with those customers who prioritize environmental responsibility.
Makes sense. They're positioning themselves as leaders, not just in their products and services, but also in how committed they are to a sustainable future. And that brings us to another game changer, digital transformation.
They've already made some big moves in this area. They've moved a whopping 70% of their operations to the cloud.
70%. Wow, they're all in. That sounds impressive, but I'm sure it wasn't all smooth sailing. I heard that getting all their old systems to work with the cloud was a massive project. They actually brought in a consultant who had experience doing similar transitions in the listeners industry to help them through the complexities.
That's a good point. Moving to the cloud is hardly ever a simple process. You often need to make big changes to infrastructure, processes, even company culture, but the payoff can be worth it.
So what kind of impact has this cloud move had on their operations? Have they seen any real improvements?
The results have been pretty good. They've seen a 25% jump in productivity, so they're getting more done with the same resources. They've also managed to cut IT downtime by 30%. That keeps things running smoothly and minimizes disruptions.
Okay, so the cloud has lived up to its promise of efficiency and reliability. But I'm guessing this is just the beginning of their digital journey. What's next on their digital roadmap?
Right now, they're focused on integrating artificial intelligence, AI, and machine learning into all their business processes. They see AI not just as a way to automate tasks, but as a tool that can help them make better decisions, improve efficiency, and create new customer experiences.
AI is everywhere these days, but it's not always easy to grasp how it's actually being used in real businesses. Can you give me a concrete example of how they're planning to leverage AI?
Okay, so one really cool thing they're working on is an AI-powered system for predicting maintenance needs for their production lines. Basically, they're using sensors to collect data on how the machines are performing, things like temperature, vibration, energy consumption. Then AI algorithms analyze all that data to find patterns and predict when a machine is likely to break down.
So instead of waiting for something to break, they can be proactive and address potential problems before they happen, saving money and avoiding downtime. That's incredibly innovative. But I have to ask, with all this talk about AI and automation, are there employees worried about their jobs being taken over by robots?
That's a valid concern, and it's one the company is taking seriously. They're being very open with their employees about their AI plans and emphasizing that AI is about working with humans, not replacing them. They're committed to offering training opportunities to help employees develop the skills they need to succeed in this new AI-powered world.
I'm glad to hear they're being so proactive about addressing how AI will impact their workforce. It shows they're not just focused on the technology, but also on how it affects people. Now, let's talk about another big part of digital transformation: data security. With all this sensitive information going to the cloud and being processed by AI, are they taking the right steps to protect their data and their customers' privacy?
They're definitely not taking any chances. They've teamed up with some of the best cybersecurity companies to put strong security measures in place and protect their systems from threats. They're also educating their employees about how to keep data safe, because even the most sophisticated security systems can be compromised if people aren't careful.
Good to hear. Data security is critical in today's digital world, and it sounds like they're making it a priority. Now, I'm curious about the financial side of this digital transformation. It sounds like you're making big investments in technology and infrastructure. How do they justify those costs?
Well, even though there are significant costs up front, they expect to see big cost savings over the long term. They believe that by investing now, they'll see the benefits later through increased efficiency, reduced downtime, and better decision making. They've even done a detailed cost-benefit analysis to show how valuable these investments will be over time.
Okay, so it's short-term pain for long-term gain. But it's not just about internal benefits, right?
Yeah.
How is this digital transformation impacting their customers' experience?
They're already seeing positive results there. Customers are getting faster responses and more personalized service through their digital channels. They've launched a new customer relationship management CRM system that lets them track customer interactions across all channels, giving them a complete view of each customer. This helps them personalize their marketing, offer specific product recommendations, and provide more proactive customer support.
So they're not just improving their internal operations, they're also using technology to enhance how they interact with their customers.
Okay.
And it sounds like they're going even further than that, using data to really understand their customers' needs and preferences.
Exactly. They even have plans to use their digital capabilities to create new ways to make money. For example, they're looking into subscription-based services and business models driven by data, using their digital assets to offer new value to customers. They're also exploring how blockchain technology can make their supply chain more transparent and efficient.
Now we're talking. They're really embracing how digital technology can change their business. This is turning into quite a masterclass in business strategy. I can't wait to hear how they're tackling the challenge of finding and keeping top talent in today's competitive job market.
All right, let's shift gears and focus on the human side of their business. We'll explore their strategies for attracting and keeping talent. After all, even in the age of AI, it's people who make a business successful.
Absolutely. So what are their main priorities when it comes to talent? What makes them stand out as a good place to work?
They're laser focused on two key areas: creating a diverse and inclusive workplace and attracting the best tech talent. They've realized that building a diverse workforce isn't just the right thing to do, it's also good for business. It brings in fresh perspectives, sparks innovation, and helps them connect with a wider range of customers.
That's awesome, especially these days. But how are they actually changing their recruiting processes to attract the best and brightest?
They're going beyond just posting jobs on the usual job boards. They're engaging with potential candidates on social media, at industry events, even hackathons. They're building relationships with top universities to attract promising graduates. They're also bringing technology into their recruitment process, using AI-powered screening tools to quickly find the most qualified applicants. AI can help analyze resumes, assess skills, and even conduct those initial screening interviews.
AI and recruitment. That changes everything. But are they just relying on algorithms to make hiring decisions?
Definitely not. AI is a tool to help them narrow down the candidates. They still value human interaction and conduct in-depth interviews to assess how well someone fits their culture, their soft skills, and most importantly, that spark of passion that sets great candidates apart.
That's good to hear. Algorithms can be helpful, but they shouldn't replace human judgment in hiring. Now, I'm curious about how they're working to keep employees. It's a tough job market, especially for those in-demand tech roles. So what are they doing to make their top performers happy and loyal to the company?
They're not just throwing money at the problem, they're taking a more comprehensive approach. They're introducing flexible work policies, recognizing that employees value the freedom and flexibility to manage their work-life balance. Employees can work remotely, set their own hours, even take sabbaticals to focus on personal or professional growth.
That's a huge perk these days, especially for tech talent who are in such high demand. What other things are they doing to boost employee retention?
They're also making their professional development programs better, providing employees with opportunities to learn new skills and move up in their careers.
It sounds like they're creating a work environment that people want to be a part of, one that's challenging and rewarding. How are they measuring how well these programs are working? Are they just hoping for the best, or are they tracking metrics to see what's working and what's not?
They're keeping a close eye on key metrics like employee satisfaction scores, turnover rates, and the time it takes to fill open positions. They're also doing regular employee surveys to get feedback and identify areas for improvement. They're not just gathering data, they're using it to make smarter decisions about how they manage talent.
Those are all good benchmarks. But let's face it, no company is perfect. Are they facing any particular challenges in finding the right people? Are there any roles that are proving particularly difficult to fill?
They mentioned that finding data scientists and AI specialists is really tough. Those are the superstars of the tech world right now, and every company wants them.
Makes sense, they're in super high demand. So how are they making themselves stand out as a good place to work in such a competitive market? What are they doing to attract those top tech talents?
They're highlighting that they're working on cutting-edge projects, showing how committed they are to innovation. They're talking about their work in AI, machine learning, and data analytics, positioning themselves as a company that's pushing the boundaries of technology. They're also showcasing their company culture, emphasizing diversity, inclusion, and that all-important work-life balance.
That's smart. It's a great way to appeal to ambitious tech professionals who want to be part of something big and exciting. And it fits perfectly with their overall image as a forward-thinking and innovative company. What about the skills gap? We keep hearing about a shortage of skilled workers in new technologies. What are they doing to tackle that problem?
They're taking a multi-pronged approach. They're investing in programs to help their current employees develop the skills they need to succeed in these new tech fields. They're also partnering with universities and coding boot camps to create a pipeline of new talent. They're even thinking about sponsoring work visas for highly skilled foreign workers.
That's a comprehensive strategy. They're not waiting for the problem to solve itself. They're taking action to build a talent pipeline that can support their future growth. Now, I know we've talked a lot about AI and automation, but I'm curious about how they're approaching that broader skills gap in emerging technologies. Are they just focused on their immediate needs, or are they taking a more long-term view?
They're definitely thinking long-term. They're actively involved in industry groups that are promoting STEM education and developing the next generation of tech talent. They're partnering with local schools to offer coding classes and robotics clubs, and they're even sponsoring STEM scholarships for students from underrepresented backgrounds.
That's fantastic. STEM education is so important for our future. It's great to see a company that's not just focused on itself, but is also giving back to the community. Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I'm curious about one more thing. Their corporate social responsibility efforts. Is it just for show, or are they truly committed to making a positive impact?
Their commitment to corporate social responsibility, CSR, seems to be genuine. They're focusing on three main areas: environmental sustainability, education, and community development. They've set ambitious goals for reducing their environmental impact, and they're actively involved in supporting educational programs and community development projects.
Those are all important areas. Can you give me some concrete examples of their environmental initiatives? What are they actually doing to minimize their environmental footprint and promote sustainability?
They've set a target to become carbon neutral by 2030. It's a huge goal, but it shows how dedicated they are to environmental responsibility. They're doing lots of things to reach this goal. They're cutting down their energy use with efficient technologies in their offices and factories. They're switching to renewable energy sources like solar and wind power. And they're investing in carbon offset projects to make up for any emissions they can't eliminate.
That's an impressive goal. It's great to see a company not just talking about sustainability, but taking real action. And it's not just the environment, right? They're also involved in education and community development initiatives. What are they doing in those areas?
They're starting a STEM scholarship program to help students who want to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, and math. They're particularly focused on helping students from underrepresented backgrounds so they can help create a more diverse tech workforce.
That's fantastic. STEM education is so crucial for the future. Are they doing anything else to support education? Working with local schools or organizations to promote STEM learning?
Yes, definitely. They're partnering with local schools to give students mentorship opportunities, connecting them with professionals in their fields of interest. They're also organizing coding workshops and robotics competitions to get kids excited about STEM careers.
Those are great initiatives. It shows they're investing in the next generation, helping young people build the skills they need to succeed. Now, what about community development? How are they supporting the communities they operate in? Are they involved with any local charities or organizations?
They've introduced a policy where employees get paid time off to volunteer, encouraging them to get involved in local community service projects. They're also matching employee donations to certain charities, which makes their contributions even more impactful and supports causes that align with their values.
That's a great way to encourage their employees to make a difference. Are there other things they're doing to support community development? Are they investing in any local projects or initiatives?
They're teaming up with local organizations to address things like homelessness, poverty, and food insecurity. They're also giving grants to small businesses and entrepreneurs in areas that need more support.
It's great to see them taking such a well-rounded approach to CSR, addressing a whole range of social and environmental challenges.
They're really committed to it. And they don't just see it as good PR. They believe CSR is a key part of how they do business.
How so? What are the business benefits of being a socially responsible company?
They see it as a way to enhance their brand's reputation, attract customers who care about these issues, and drive innovation and sustainable practices. They believe that by doing good, they can also do well.
Makes sense. Consumers are more and more drawn to companies that share their values, and a strong CSR program can really make a company stand out. It can help them attract top talent, too.
Now, I know we're running out of time for this part of our deep dive, but there's one more important area I want to explore: their data analytics capabilities. In today's world, companies need to be able to understand the data they have and use it to make good decisions.
They're investing a lot in this area. They know that data is valuable and can help them grow their business and become more innovative. Their focus is on predictive analytics and real-time data processing, which are two of the most powerful data analytics tools out there. Those are some pretty hot topics in the tech world. Can you break those down for me? What do they actually mean, and how are they being used in this case?
Predictive analytics is all about using data to anticipate future trends and what might happen. It's like having a crystal ball that helps you make smarter decisions. You can use it to predict sales, identify potential problems, and even personalize what you offer to customers. For example, they're using it to predict which customers might leave so they can take steps to keep them.
It's like having a crystal ball for business.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And what about real-time data processing? What is that, and how is it different from predictive analytics?
Real-time data processing is about analyzing data as it's being generated, so you can react quickly to changing conditions and adjust on the fly. Think of it as a way to have your finger on the pulse of your business so you can respond to new trends and challenges right away. They're using it to monitor their website traffic, track inventory levels, and even personalize how they interact with customers in real time.
So it's all about making quick decisions based on the latest data. That's a huge advantage in today's fast-paced business world. But I'm sure there are challenges to using these advanced analytics capabilities. What are some of the obstacles they've faced, and how are they tackling them?
One of the biggest challenges has been combining data from all their different sources. They have data coming in from different departments, systems, and platforms, and it can be tough to make sense of it all. They're setting up something called a data lake, which is basically a central place where they can store all their data in a consistent format. This makes it easier to access and analyze the data, no matter where it came from.
Sounds like they're putting together a giant jigsaw puzzle where the pieces are scattered everywhere. A data lake sounds like the perfect solution. But it's not just about collecting data, is it? You also need to make sure it's accurate and trustworthy. What are they doing to make sure their data is high quality?
They're creating a strong data governance system to make sure their data is consistent, accurate, and secure. They're also investing in data cleaning tools that can find and fix errors. They know that if the data is bad, the results will be bad too, so they're taking data quality very seriously.
That's important. Data cleaning is often forgotten, but it's a crucial part of any analytics project. But technology isn't enough, right? You need people who understand how to use the data and find those insights. What are they doing to develop their data analytics talent?
They're doing a couple of things. They're training their current employees in data analysis and visualization, and they're hiring data scientists who are experts in the field. They're also building a data-driven culture, encouraging everyone in the company to use data to make decisions.
So they're creating a culture where everyone is making data-informed decisions. That's impressive. But it's not just about the technical side, is there? There are also ethical issues surrounding data analytics. What are they doing to ensure they're using data responsibly and ethically?
They're developing strict guidelines for ethical data use and privacy protection. They're also investing in tools that can help them make data anonymous and protect customer privacy. They understand that data is powerful, but it needs to be used responsibly and ethically.
I'm really impressed with their thoughtful approach to data analytics. It sounds like they're striking the right balance between using data effectively and using it responsibly. Now, before we move on to the next part of our deep dive, I'm curious to hear what stands out to you most from all of this behind-the-scenes information. What are your key takeaways so far?
What really stands out to me is how integrated their approach is. They're not just looking at individual departments or initiatives in isolation. They're thinking about how everything fits together. They're connecting the dots between their financial performance, operational efficiency, sustainability goals, digital transformation strategy, talent management practices, and their data analytics capabilities. They're truly creating a holistic and integrated business model.
That's a great point. It's like they're conducting an orchestra where each section has its part to play, but it's the conductor who brings everything together to create a beautiful and harmonious sound.
Exactly. They're not just playing the notes, they're creating music.
That's a perfect way to put it. I think that's a great note to end this part of our deep dive. We've covered a lot, from financial performance and operational efficiency to sustainability, digital transformation, talent management, and data analytics. But there's more to come. In the next part of our deep dive, we'll explore their ambitious plans to conquer the e-commerce market, examining their strategies, challenges, and opportunities in this rapidly evolving space. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Now we're switching gears to something new, something big. This company's got a plan to dive into the world of e-commerce.
That's right. We're about to uncover how they want to conquer online retail. We'll dig into their strategies, what they see as roadblocks, and the opportunities they're hoping to grab.
They're not just testing the waters here, they're jumping right into e-commerce with a strategy that's both ambitious and well thought out.
Okay, I'm all ears. What's the game plan? How do they see themselves building a strong presence online and attracting all those digital shoppers?
The heart of it all is creating a cutting-edge e-commerce platform. But it's not just a simple online store tacked onto their existing business. They're building it from scratch, focusing on how it connects seamlessly with their products and their brand.
So it's not just about selling online. It's about making sure customers have the same great experience whether they're in a physical store or shopping from their phone.
You got it. They're aiming for what's called an omni-channel approach. It's about blurring the lines between shopping in person and online. And that's where it gets really interesting. They're not just copying their physical stores online. They're using what's unique about the digital world to create something special.
Okay, you've piqued my interest. Give me some specifics. What features are they building into this platform that'll make them stand out from the crowd?
Well, first off, they're prioritizing a mobile-first design. They know most people shop online from their phones, so they're making sure their platform is easy to use on smaller screens with intuitive navigation and fast loading times.
That's essential. If your website's not mobile-friendly these days, you might as well not exist. But it's more than just making it work on a phone, right? It's also about creating an experience that makes people want to keep coming back.
Absolutely. They're adding a whole bunch of features to make shopping better. They're personalizing product recommendations, using data to suggest things that each customer will like based on their taste and what they've bought before. Think of it like a personal shopper who knows your style better than you do.
That's the power of data. It's not just about gathering information. It's about using it to give each customer a unique experience. But sometimes, even with the best suggestions, online shopping can feel a bit impersonal. Are they doing anything to bring back that human touch? To make a stronger connection with their online customers?
They're definitely not ignoring that. They're adding things like live chat so customers can talk to a real person and get answers to their questions right away. Plus, they're integrating social media so people can share their favorite products, leave reviews, and interact with the brand in a more personal way.
Smart move. That's all about creating a sense of community, even in the digital world. But let's face it, no matter how great your website is, if you can't get those products to your customers quickly and reliably, you're in trouble. How are they ensuring their shipping and delivery operations are up to scratch?
They're not messing around when it comes to getting those orders delivered. They've teamed up with top-notch logistics companies. You know the ones? They're known for being efficient and reliable. These companies will handle getting orders fulfilled and shipped. They're also investing in their own warehouses, making their systems faster and more efficient so orders get processed quickly.
It sounds like they're finding a good balance between using outside experts and building their own capabilities to make sure they have control over what the customer experiences.
Exactly. They're making sure everything is smooth and seamless from the moment a customer clicks buy to the moment the package shows up at their door.
Now, we all know cybersecurity is a huge deal in e-commerce. With so much sensitive information flying around online, how are they making sure their platform is secure and customer data is protected?
They're taking cybersecurity very seriously. It's not just about the technology, it's about building a culture of security awareness. They've brought in some of the best cybersecurity experts to check their systems and find any weak spots so they can fix them. They've put in place strong security measures like firewalls, intrusion detection systems, and data encryption to keep their data and their customers' information safe. They're also teaching their employees about best practices for security, like using strong passwords, being cautious about phishing scams, and reporting anything that looks suspicious.
Wow, it sounds like they're building a digital fortress. But even with the best security in the world, things can happen. How are they getting ready for those bumps in the road that come with launching a new project, especially in the fast-paced world of e-commerce?
They're not just hoping for the best, they're planning for things that could go wrong. They've got detailed plans for all sorts of scenarios, like the website crashing, server problems, supply chain issues, even natural disasters. They also have a team of experts ready to jump in 24/7 if any emergencies pop up.
That's good to hear. It's all about being prepared and having the systems and the people in place to react quickly.
Uh-huh.
Now let's talk about customer service. Online shopping can be super convenient, but it can also be frustrating when you run into problems or have questions. How are they planning to support their e-commerce customers?
They're taking a multi-pronged approach to customer service in their online world. They're creating a comprehensive online help center with FAQs, tutorials, and troubleshooting guides so customers can try to solve issues themselves. They're also going to use those AI-powered chatbots we talked about to handle basic questions and give instant support. This frees up their human agents to focus on the more complicated issues.
AI chatbots are definitely a smart move. They can answer tons of questions quickly and they're available all the time, which customers love.
Yeah.
But what about the issues that are more complicated and need a human touch? Are they sacrificing that personal touch for efficiency?
Not at all. They understand that some problems need a human with empathy and problem-solving skills. They're building a dedicated team of e-commerce customer service reps who are trained to handle those trickier issues and provide personalized support.
So they're finding a balance between AI efficiency and that human connection.
Nice. Now, how are they planning to measure if their e-commerce venture is successful? What metrics would they be tracking to see how things are going and make changes along the way? They've picked out some key metrics that will give them a good overall picture of how their e-commerce business is doing. They'll track things like how many people visit the website, how many of those visitors actually buy something, the average amount each customer spends, how much it costs to acquire a new customer, how much value each customer brings over their lifetime, and of course, how much revenue they're generating. On top of that, they'll be watching customer satisfaction metrics like their Net Promoter Score, NPS, and customer reviews to see if they're meeting expectations.
It sounds like they're approaching this in a data-driven way, using analytics to see how things are going, figure out what can be improved, and make smart decisions. That's essential these days. But let's be real. The e-commerce world is crazy competitive. What are they doing to stand out and attract customers to their online store?
They're going to leverage their existing brand reputation. That's a big advantage. They've built a good reputation over the years by offering quality products and great customer service. They'll be highlighting their brand story, their values, and their commitment to sustainability to differentiate themselves from everyone else out there.
It makes sense. Build on your strengths, right? But just being known isn't enough in today's digital world. What else are they doing to attract new customers who may have never heard of them before?
They're investing in a digital marketing strategy that uses multiple channels to reach their target audience. They're using search engine optimization, SEO, to make sure their website shows up high in search results when people are looking for products online. They're also running ads on social media and search engines, targeting those ads to specific groups of people based on their demographics and interests.
So they're casting a wide net, using a mix of strategies to reach a wide audience. But it's not just about attracting people, it's about getting them to buy something. How are they making their website and their marketing messages better at converting those visitors into paying customers?
They're A/B testing different versions of their website and marketing materials to see what works best. They're experimenting with different headlines, calls to action, images, and layouts to figure out what combination leads to the most sales. They're also using data analytics to understand how people are using their website, looking for areas where they can improve the user experience and make it easier for people to find what they want and buy it.
Sounds like a constant process of testing and improving using data and experimentation to get the best results. Now, before we move on, I want to touch on something that's really important for long-term success in e-commerce. Building a strong community around your brand. Are they doing anything to create that sense of community among their online customers?
They're not just thinking of their e-commerce platform as a place to buy and sell. They want it to be a community hub. They're creating content that goes beyond just product descriptions and promotions. They're giving people a behind-the-scenes look at their company culture, their values, and their people. They're sharing customer stories, showing how people are using their products in real life. They're creating a space where customers can connect with each other, talk about their experiences, and feel like they're part of something bigger than just a brand.
I like that. It's not just about selling products. It's about building relationships, fostering loyalty, and creating a brand that people love and trust.
Exactly. They want to build a brand that people want to be a part of, and that gives them a real edge in this competitive market.
Now, I know that dealing with laws and regulations is a big part of running an e-commerce business. With all those laws about data privacy, consumer protection, and online transactions, how are they making sure they're doing everything by the book?
They're not taking any shortcuts when it comes to following the law. They have a team of legal experts who know e-commerce law inside and out, and they're working closely with this team to make sure every part of their online business follows all the rules. They're paying close attention to data privacy regulations like GDPR and CCPA, making sure they're collecting, storing, and using customer data in a responsible and transparent way. They've also put strong security measures in place to protect customer data from breaches and unauthorized access.
So they're covering all their bases, making sure they're building a business that's both successful and ethical.
Exactly. They're not cutting corners when it comes to legal and ethical stuff. They're building a business they can be proud of, one that operates with integrity and respect for their customers and the law.
So let's zoom out a bit. How does this e-commerce venture fit into their overall business model and their long-term goals? Where does e-commerce fit in the bigger picture?
They see e-commerce not just as another way to sell stuff, but as a central part of their digital transformation. It's a key driver of their growth, their innovation, and their ability to reach more people. They're using e-commerce to gather valuable data, create personalized customer experiences, and try out new business models.
So it's about more than just selling online. It's about using e-commerce to transform their entire business.
Exactly. They're not just keeping up with the digital world, they're helping to shape it.
Now, every business faces challenges, especially when they try something new. What do they see as the biggest hurdles they'll have to overcome with this e-commerce project?
They think that managing how quickly their operations need to grow will be the biggest challenge. As more and more people shop online, they'll need to be able to handle the increasing number of orders, customer questions, and logistics. They'll need to be able to scale up their infrastructure, their systems, and their teams to keep up with demand.
That's understandable. It's a good problem to have, but still a problem. What are they doing to prepare for this rapid growth and make sure they can handle it smoothly?
They're putting money into technology platforms that can handle more and more data and transactions. They're also building a team that's flexible and adaptable, hiring people who are comfortable with change and can handle different kinds of tasks. They're fostering a culture of learning and improvement, encouraging their teams to embrace new technologies and adapt quickly to new situations.
It sounds like they're building a foundation for being agile and resilient, which are essential in the world of e-commerce. But it's not just about internal stuff, right? They also need to stay ahead of what customers expect and what's happening in the market. What are they doing to make sure they stay relevant and competitive in the ever-changing world of e-commerce?
They're doing their research, keeping an eye on what their competitors are up to, what new technologies are coming out, and what customers are asking for. They're also encouraging their teams to experiment, try new things, and learn from their mistakes. They're not afraid to fail as long as they learn from it and do better next time.
That's a great attitude. It's all
Yeah.
about embracing change, adapting, and constantly trying to improve. Now, before we move on to the next section, I'm curious about what has stood out to you the most from all this talk about their e-commerce strategy. What are your key takeaways so far?
I'm really impressed by how committed they are to creating a smooth, well-rounded e-commerce experience. They're not just focused on the buying and selling part, they're building a platform that's engaging, informative, and community-driven. They're using data and technology to personalize the experience, but they're not forgetting how important it is to have that human connection and tell their brand story.
I agree. It's not just an online store. It's a digital space that reflects their values, their commitment to their customers, and how they see the future of retail.
Well said. Now let's move on to something else that's crucial for their business: risk management. We've really dug deep into this company's business plan. We've seen their financials, their sustainability efforts, how they manage talent, and even their plans for the metaverse.
It's been fascinating seeing how they use data analytics and technology to drive innovation, make things run smoother, create awesome customer experiences, and build a more sustainable and responsible business.
Yeah, they're definitely not just chasing profits. They really seem committed to making a positive impact.
Absolutely. But before we wrap things up, there's one more area I want to explore. Something that's crucial for any business that wants to succeed in today's world, especially with all the uncertainty out there. I'm talking about risk management.
Good point. Every business has to deal with risk, but it feels like the stakes are even higher these days. Things change so fast.
Exactly. So how is this company approaching risk management? What are they most worried about, and how are they trying to reduce those risks?
They've got a really thorough and proactive approach to risk management. They know that risks can pop up from anywhere, both inside and outside the company. They've organized their risks into a few main categories: economic risks, geopolitical risks, environmental risks, operational risks, reputational risks, and strategic risks.
That's a lot to keep track of. Can you give me some examples of what kinds of risks fall into each category?
Sure. Economic risks are things like a recession, inflation, changes in currency exchange rates, and interest rates moving up or down. These things can really affect how profitable they are, whether they can get funding, and their overall financial health. For example, they're really paying attention to what's happening with the global economy, especially in their key markets, so they can be prepared if things slow down. They're also hedging against currency fluctuations to protect themselves from big swings in exchange rates.
Sounds like they're staying ahead of the game when it comes to economic risks, using forecasting, monitoring, and hedging to stay on top of things. What about geopolitical risks? What are some examples of those, and how are they dealing with them?
Geopolitical risks are basically anything happening in global politics that could affect their business. Think about political instability in the countries where they operate: trade wars, terrorism, or even changes in government regulations. All of these things could disrupt their supply chains, make it hard to do business in certain places, and even put their employees at risk. To stay on top of these, they've got a team that watches for any political developments around the world and analyzes how those developments might affect their business. They also create backup plans just in case. Plus, they work with government agencies and security experts to stay informed about potential threats and take steps to protect their people and their assets.
It's good to know they're not just sitting around and hoping for the best. They're taking action to understand and manage those geopolitical risks. Now, we talked earlier about their commitment to sustainability, but what about the risks that come from environmental factors? How do they factor those into their decisions?
Environmental risks are a growing concern for businesses, and this company gets that. They're taking a multi-pronged approach to managing these risks. They know that climate change is a major threat and could disrupt their supply chains, damage their facilities, and affect the communities where they work. They're actively working to reduce their environmental impact, investing in renewable energy sources, and implementing sustainable practices across their business. They're also looking at the risks of extreme weather events like floods, droughts, and severe storms, and developing plans to minimize any disruptions those events might cause.
It sounds like they're not just trying to be eco-friendly, they're also strategically managing the risks that environmental changes might bring. Now let's move on to operational risks. What are some examples of those, and how are they addressing them?
Operational risks are a part of any business. They're the things that could interrupt how they do business, hurt their reputation, or even lead to lawsuits. They know these risks are out there, and they've put strong measures in place to reduce their impact. One thing they're really focused on is cybersecurity. They understand that data breaches and cyber attacks are a constant threat. They've put a lot of resources into cybersecurity infrastructure. They use things like multi-factor authentication, and they regularly test their systems to find and fix vulnerabilities. They also have plans in place to respond quickly and effectively if a security breach does happen.
So they're not relying on technology alone. They're also training their employees to be more aware of security risks and how to avoid them.
Yeah, they've got it covered. They know that people make mistakes, and that can lead to security breaches. So they're investing in employee training and awareness programs to add that human layer of protection on top of their tech security measures.
That makes perfect sense.
Mm.
Now, switching gears a bit, let's talk about reputational risks. How are they handling things that could damage their reputation?
They know that in today's world, reputation is everything. It can be ruined in an instant. They're being proactive about managing reputational risks, and they know the best defense is a good offense. They have a team dedicated to monitoring social media, news sites, and online discussions for any mentions of their brand. This way, they can catch any negative feedback early on and address it before it becomes a bigger problem.
So they're staying on top of what people are saying about them, ready to respond to anything negative that pops up.
Exactly. They're also building a positive reputation by focusing on corporate social responsibility, ethical business practices, and being open with their stakeholders. They believe that doing the right thing consistently is the best way to build a strong reputation that can withstand any challenges.
It's true. Building a reputation for integrity and responsibility is a great way to protect against reputational damage. Now, for our last category, let's discuss strategic risks. What are some examples of those and how are they handling them?
Strategic risks are the ones that could jeopardize their long-term plans and their ability to reach their goals. For example, they're keeping a close eye on their competitors and looking out for new technologies or ways of doing business that could disrupt their market position. They know they need to stay ahead of the curve. They're also investing in research and development to make sure they're always innovating, exploring new technologies, and developing products and services that meet the changing needs of their customers.
It sounds like they're not just trying to keep up, they're trying to stay ahead of the game. They're embracing change, taking smart risks, and always looking for ways to improve.
You got it. They know that complacency is dangerous in today's fast-paced world. They're constantly adapting, innovating, and evolving to stay ahead of the curve.
This deep dive has been incredibly insightful. We've covered so much, from their financial performance and goals to their sustainability efforts and how they manage risk.
It's amazing to see how they're using data and technology to drive innovation, improve efficiency, enhance the customer experience, and build a more sustainable and responsible business.
They're not just about making money. They're committed to making a positive impact on the world.
Absolutely. They're a company with a long-term vision focused on building a business that's successful, sustainable, ethical, and resilient.
I think we can all take some inspiration from their approach. No matter what you do, the lessons we've learned about strategic thinking, innovation, sustainability, and managing risk can be applied to your own life and career.
I agree. This deep dive has been a goldmine of insights and inspiration that we can all use to make a difference. It's been a real pleasure exploring this company's journey with you.
This is The Deep Dive, signing off. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep into the things that matter most to you.